Hey, Cub fans! Thanks for joining us on Cubs 24/7, where Randy talks Cubs. And we're going to talk Michael Alexander Arias today. And if that name doesn't ring a bell, don't worry about it. It shouldn't. But Michael Arias is a pitcher, and he is on the Cubs 40-man roster. He has not pitched above 1A, and he's on the roster. So let's ponder that for just a second. 22 years old, on the 40-man roster, placed there after the 2023 season, and has not pitched above single A. There's a reason for it. It's just extremely interesting. So I'm going to walk you through it. We're going to get to know Michael Arias. Young 22-year-old Michael was born on November 15th of 2001. Right-handed pitcher as of now, 6 foot 155 listed. If he's 155, he's wet. I mean, he's slight. Okay, he's from the Dominican Republic, Santo Domingo, and he was actually signed by the Blue Jays in the international free agent signing period in July of 2018 as a 16-year-old, and he was signed as a shortstop. The Blue Jays gave him a $10,000 signing bonus, but Michael never played in an organized game in the Blue Jay organization, and the Blue Jays just went ahead and released him in May of 2020. So Michael was signed as a 16-year-old, basically 2 years later, just released. He's 18 years old, he just gets released. Okay, well, I don't know how this happened, but the Cubs signed him in January of 2021, but they signed him as a pitcher. So I'm assuming Michael had left there. I couldn't find any information on it, but I'm assuming Michael didn't give up, and at some point he went and did some pitching because January of 2021, we signed him as a pitcher. So he's back in professional baseball as a pitcher. 19 years old, hadn't pitched before, so he spends his first 2 seasons in rookie ball. So 2021, 2022, Michael Arias is still in rookie ball. And he averages, over that period of time in 2021, 22, he averages about a walk per inning. And he opened people's eyes while dominating single A in 2023. In fact, his stuff is so good that other scouts from other organizations have said that they think Michael Arias has the best stuff in the entire Cubs system. So, obviously it's very interesting. So let's talk about what his stuff is. What is it that Michael Arias has that is so intriguing that we've placed him on the 40-man roster before he's pitched even over 1A. So his scoring grades are like this. He's got a plus fastball, 65. It's a score of 65. He's got a really good slider and a plus change. So he's fastball, slider, change, all plus. Fastball plus. I think his changeup's plus too, but I'll talk about that in a second. But his command is below average, obviously. So let's talk about his stuff. Scouts and other organizations say that he probably has the best stuff in the whole organization. Why is that? Well, let's talk about his fastball. First thing is he works from we'll call it a nearly sidearm arm slot, and he throws it between 94 and 98 miles an hour. So he's got this 94 to 98 mile an hour fastball that he throws with a very low arm slot, and it causes the fastball to have what they refer to as heavy sink and tailing action. So mid-upper 90s heat that wants to sink and tail. That's why he's nasty. His changeup is really good. His changeup is plus. His changeup he throws in the upper 80s, but it has the fade and the sink that you would expect to see on it. When I watch the changeup and the movement, it really looks like a low 80, like an 81 mile an hour changeup that with that fade and sink on it. But it's not. It's upper 80s. So it's a very interesting pitch. If you didn't have the The jugs gun on it, you would just assume looked like 81, 82 miles an hour causing the movement. His slider is mid-80s. It's tough on righties now, but he's young, so when he stays on top of it and he gets bite, it's a really good pitch, but he has trouble staying on top. Sometimes he gets under it and it flattens out. So, but 22 years old, his slider's coming. So that's the scouting report on him. 22 years old, only been pitching 2 years, and has just naturally nasty stuff, but he's not been able to command it until most recent. So let's talk about some of his numbers. When the Cubs signed him in 2021, the first place he started was in the Dominican Summer League, summer of 21. So here's what he did. He pitched 23 1/3 innings, threw for a 3.09 ERA in 16 games, all of them in relief, no starts. In those 23 innings, he struck out 22, so he's striking out in the Dominican Summer League about a batter per inning, but he walked 14. His whip was good, 1.286. But here's the numbers that I'm going to sort of pay attention to as we go through. We're going to pay attention to his walks and strikeouts per 9. So he gave up in 2021 in that summer league 5.4 walks per 9, and he struck out 8.5 per 9. Okay, let's go to 2022. Cubs sent him to rookie ball, and he pitched 13 innings total, threw for a 4.85 ERA in 8 games, but all 8 games as a starter. In those 13 innings, he strikes out 18, and he walks 16. His whip was 1.615. His walks per 9 are 11.9, and his strikeouts are 12.5 per 9. So he's a 2-outcome pitcher at this point in rookie ball. You're either going to strike out or you're going to walk. It'd be hard to play defense behind that, I suppose. A lot of long innings. So let's go to Myrtle Beach. 2022, they bump him up to Myrtle Beach. He doesn't play much. He goes 4 innings. They started him slow. So 13 innings in rookie ball, and he's only going to pitch 4 innings at Myrtle Beach. But at Myrtle Beach, ERA at 4.50. 2 games started, both the games in Myrtle Beach. Had 5 strikeouts, walked 6, 2.5 whip, walks per 9, 13.5, strikeouts per 9, 11.3. So in 2023, in 2022, he only throws 17 innings total. 10 starts, 23 strikeouts, 22 walks, 11.6 walks per 9, and a 12.2 strikeouts per 9. So there's Michael Arias. Great stuff, right? But he's walk rate's too high, but he's going to strike you out. So 2023 starts. He starts again at Myrtle Beach. Pitches a little more. Throws 42 1/3 innings. Throws for a 2.55 ERA in 11 games. All 11 were starts. 64 strikeouts, 25 bases on balls. So he's really cut that walk rate almost in half. Whip 1.157, struck out 13.6 per 9, and he walked 5.3 per 9. So that's the line that got everybody's attention. You know he's got the stuff, you can see it, but he's wild thing. And so in 2023, he cut his walk rate in less than half in his stint in Myrtle Beach. So they bump him to South Bend, High A in South Bend. Throws 39 innings, 11 games, another 11 starts. So he's got 22 starts in 2023, 11 at Myrtle Beach, 11 with the Cubs in South Bend. Has 46 Ks, again, cut his walks in half, 26 bases on balls. So that's why he's on the 40-man roster. Nastiest stuff possibly in the whole system. Young, 22 years old. In the last year, he's cut that, and it's command. I mean, it's command. So if command is the only issue, and you see him go from one year to the next and cut his walks in half, that's why they put him on the 40-man. You almost had to. You have to see it. 22 years old, only been pitching for 3 years now. Let's talk about the future. Now, clearly at this age, with this experience level, the future is unclear. But his stuff is good enough that you're going to have to see it through. So his youth, his inexperience is causing the lack of control, his inconsistency. And his arm slot, too. It's going to be interesting to see what they do with his arm slot because the arm slot plus his youth and inexperience, while it causes a lot of deception, it may make it harder for him to come up with some consistency and control. So to me, that's going to be interesting if they tinker with that arm slot, sacrifice a little of the movement to gain some command. But I'll tell you what, if he can improve his command and get it to a point where it's serviceable without changing that arm slot, that's probably what they're hoping for. But guys, he's going to need a lot more innings, right? I mean, he just hasn't thrown enough innings. But if you happen to have glanced at the 40-man roster and saw Michael Arias' name on that, and you thought, who is this? That's why. I mean, he's a diamond in the rough, and at 22 years old with the lack of experience, they just made the decision we're going to see it through. So when spring training starts and you hear of Michael Arias throwing today, you might want to check that out. And I'm telling you what, when I watched him, he is slight. I'm talking about like oil can Boyd slight. I mean, slighter than that. I don't know. If Marcus Stroman weighed 25 pounds less, kind of that size, that stature, but I'm talking thin, guys. So incredible to watch him pitch. Just a little guy. So Michael Arias, 40-man roster, and he's on the prospect list. You'll see him on the prospect list. So he's there. He's not hiding from people who are paying attention. Just casual fan hadn't seen him, hadn't heard about him. So I thought I'd do us all a solid and get to know him. But Michael Arias. Hope you enjoyed that. Hope you'll feel inclined to hit that subscription button for me. I'd really appreciate it. We'll be back very soon, and go Cubs go.